Hello and welcome. It's Friday. It's 10 o'clock. It's the 25th of June, 2021. I am your post-surgery, slightly stoned, grumpy guide to all things gaming and general catastrophe and silliness. The OGGM content warning. I'm going to be addressing the week-long whirlwind of wackiness associated with TSR games, including my recent experience with TSR games. So if me talking about TSR games in a less than flattering way is something that might offend you, please stop watching now. Remember, the content of my channel is not appropriate for anyone. Support me, water, because you're free, but I still need a sponsor. So let's start from the beginning and work our way down the roller coaster that has been this project, TSR Games' announcement. I got banned from the TSR Discord site. Now, I can only think of one of three reasons why. They had a Discord, and of course I went on the Discord, and as I am apt to do, I posted a link to my weekly tabletop role-playing news vlog where I mentioned them. I put it in one place. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to put it in that place, so that upset someone. And because I post all my content with NSFW content warnings on them, they told me they wouldn't, you can't have NSFW content warning product on their Discord site as they're only pg13, and they want to be open and a site that doesn't promote hate. So that could be the reason. Why? The second reason could be, of course, that I did make a vlog about them. And during that vlog, I said some less than flattering things about Ernest Gary Gygax and the production of Memorial Tomb. And I also said some things about why they would choose the name and the expectations that that name brings. So maybe they saw that vlog, and that's why they banned me. Or three, yesterday, after I got home from my surgery, I saw on their Facebook a post where they were talking about how they don't promote hate or anything like that, and they're open to everyone, but then they were posting posts about how, Milton Bradley did awful things and about how Gary Gygax said some awful things about women in gaming, and of course perpetrating the myth that women don't game and you can't design for women. And I got very upset at that because, of course, women do game. They have been gaming. I've played with women and girls and members of the LGBTQT community pretty much since day one. Some of the very first people I gamed with were, students at school, including a girl in, my elementary school, high school, whatever. The sister of my friend down the block who we played with. My cousins, the twins, they played with me a couple times. So girls have been playing as long as the game has been around. And, D&D's success has nothing to do with the name of D&D. D&D's success has nothing to do with the name TSR. D&D's success has to do with the players and how we treated the game. We are the people who buy your product. You owe your success to us. People are saying D&D is sexist. It's like, no, D&D is not sexist. It's not racist. It's not anything. It's words on paper. It's people. If women didn't play, it was because they were made to feel uncomfortable by the other people at the table. And really, even to this day, it's the same thing. I mean, you guys just posted a thing where your target demographic is 25-year-old males and only 17% female under 25, which is, of course, is completely bullshit. So if you're saying, D&D and Gygax said that D&D isn't for girls, and then you're also saying, well, our target demographic is young men, well, then yeah. But really, the reason why girls didn't play D&D is nothing to do with D&D and how it was written. It has to do with no girl wants to sit down at a table and have some, fat white guy grab her boobs and claim it's role-playing. And, that happened as recently as a year ago when I was in a game and the DM kept trying to grab my friend's boobs and claim it was role-playing. So, yeah, that's, but so I made a comment about that, and so that could be the third reason why I got banned. But anyways, I got banned from the TSR Discord, and I removed myself from the TSR Facebook page after some of the stuff they said yesterday, and just the the hypocritism of them saying, oh, we don't support hate. We're loving and embracing, and anybody can play the game, and then saying, but we hate Milton Bradley, and girls don't play D&D. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be supporting TSR. We've heard already, this week we've heard a lot of really negative things come up about TSR, the people associated with TSR. We've seen a lot of negative things posted about the people who were talking about TSR. I got like a 10-page rant from one angry vlogger about, people saying stuff about TSR and, how dare you talk crap about TSR because you never were there for TSR, and TSR was a great company and everything Gygax did was great. And I'm like, no, dude, I was there too. TSR was a horribly run company that barely managed to keep its, self afloat, made multiple bad decisions, including kicking Gary to the curb. So he went and did the Castle Crusade stuff and started his own game, while TSR went and did other stuff. And TSR only became a game company that was solvable when they finally sold out to Wizards of the Coast. And most people wouldn't even know about D&D if it wasn't for Wizards of the Coast in 3rd edition, 4th edition, and then, of course, 5th edition. So, yeah, D&D wasn't great because of TSR. D&D wasn't great because of Gygax. He was not a great writer. He didn't really do anything amazing. He was one of many people who worked on the game and created the game and perpetuated the game. And the company did great, and then they kicked him to the curb. So he went and did his other stuff. And, he had very little to do with the other editions and the other product that TSR made. TSR didn't make D&D great. D&D didn't make D&D great. D&D was great because of those of us who played it in the late 70s and the 80s. D&D is great because of, those summer nights and their summer afternoons where you're sitting in your friend's backyard playing 1st edition D&D while listening to this up-and-coming band called the Go-Go's play down the block. That's what made D&D great. Playing it and the shared experiences, not the writing. So, yeah, people are getting mad at TSR and their production and the stuff they're saying about other companies and other people. And I can definitely understand that because we know from personal experience, Ernest Gary Gygax's production rate of the Memorial Tomb Hobby Shop Dungeon has been George R.R. Martin slow. And what I've seen of the Memorial 2 Hobby Shop Dungeon, it sucks. So yeah, and apparently this guy that's the CEO is very opinionated and he doesn't really know how to run a game company, but he's made video games and he's opened amusement parks and whatever. So it has been a crazy controversial week, but I will not be doing any more news about TSR probably because 1, I don't really care. 2, I don't think the company's going to do that well. I don't think it's going to live up to the expectations people already have for it. It's just impossible. If anything, I wish they had used a different name than TSR, but it's the Captain Marvel scenario. They have to use the name to use the name, and they know there's nostalgia associated with the name, and they can say whatever they want and be, it's TSR, it's D&D. We are saving the market, and, people are going to love us because of nostalgia, and we're going to milk that nostalgia. So I assume they knew there was going to be expectations and positivity and negativity. That's part of the reason why they've been doing what they've been doing and the way they've been doing it. But we don't hear good things about Giant Lands. Even James Ward, who apparently helped create Giant Lands, in all the interviews he's posted over the last couple of weeks, is knows almost nothing about the game, as does Larry. And, people are saying, well, Larry is, beholden to TSR. And Larry's like, no, I'm a freelancer. I can do art for anyone. Where is this crap coming from? So, yeah, I don't see great things about TSR, and I think it's unfair to hold them up to this expectation of being the holy, savior of gaming simply because they use TSR. And nostalgia says D&D before Wizards of the Coast was great, and TSR was the best game ever, and Gygax was the best writer ever. All 3 aren't true. And yes, girls game. So to say in a sentence you support diversity and you're against hate and stereotypings, and then also say, but we hate Milton Bradley and girls don't play our game. Yeah, so, yeah. There we go. So that's how I got banned from the TSR Discord server. If you appreciate the stories and want to hear more, let me know. If you don't, let me know. I'm still feeling pretty crappy and my ear is still plugged up, so that's about it for me today. I'll be back later. Till then, I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Help me hit 500 subs by August 4th, and we'll do something crazy. Talk to you soon, Steve.